Morning! How are you, my friends, my brothers, my sisters? How are you? I hope you are a lot warmer than I am. It's 2 degrees here, but it feels like -10. It is freezing. I'm seeing some ice and stuff on the roads again and things like that. And it's not really ideal situations to be out in, but it's still nice, and we thank God that we're alive, and we thank God that we have the blessing and the gift of today. We pray that we get to finish it. So what are we going to talk about today? I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. There's so much that I want to do. There's so little time to get to do it. And we have so many things that I need actually to put down and work into a study and actually do it like a study, rather than just the small sort of talks and touching on topics and things that we're doing. But at the minute, this is what's working. This is what's happening for me, and it's better this than doing nothing at the moment. So we'd see where it goes anyhow. So we're getting closer and closer to Christmas, and I think we can start to feel the buzz in the air. A lot of, well, certainly everywhere you go, the Christmas music is playing through the speakers. Everywhere you go, the markets are up, and everybody seems to be out and about browsing and whatever. They haven't all been looking haircuts yet, which is my line of things. But I know that come the end of the week, we're going to be absolutely hammered, and more than likely because of people's. And I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it derogatory, but it frustrates me every year. We sit for about 5 to 6 weeks doing nothing, absolutely nothing. We advise the people to come in, try and get your appointment early, get it out of the road. And then what happens is, come the end of the week, they all try to pile into us at one time, and we can't cater for them, and then they walk away disgruntled because they couldn't get into our salon, and it becomes frustrating to us, because then people say, oh, yous are always busy, and we know that's not the case. So people can be so silly and so inconsiderate at this time of year for you and your staff, and it's not a really nice time of the year for that. There's so much pressure on everything, and everybody needs to try and make money. But what happens is, in retail, we have the quiet periods on the run up to Christmas. We have a mad rush for about 3 or 4 days, and then after Christmas we have another 4 to 6 weeks that is dead. And the trick is to try and not annoy too many over the period, because they haven't taken the time to book or plan their time or plan their days. So it's quite a tricky one, to say the least. So I say it can be a great time. It can be a time of blessing, but it can also be a time of a lot of stress. of stress for a lot of people. There's an awful lot of people too that we have to understand and we think about. My own family particularly, because as I said last week, I was in Birmingham in the UK, we had buried my aunt, and my aunt's family, my cousins now are at Christmas, and they are now thinking, because 6 years ago they lost their father around Christmas, and then last week they lost their mother. So Christmas isn't always joyful for everyone. We have to remember that. Christmas has so many things, and it can be a very, very, very cruel period of time. It's a selfish time. It's a time when everybody expects everybody else to be joyful, and if you're not joyful, well then you must be a Grinch. However, so many people have so many things going on at Christmas, and we need to be really mindful of that. If we are really going to get into the festive cheer, if we're really going to get into the spirit of Christmas. Now, I, as a follower of Christ, have my own innovations of Christmas and how Christmas came about and all that sort of stuff, and what it has sort of turned into today, and then what they're trying to turn it into, and its origins. And I have my own innovations of it, but I find myself now that, I have children and whatever, and you have to try and get into that spirit. And it's a good opportunity, even though that I know that it isn't scriptural, but it's a good opportunity to really sort of unwind and try and reach out to people. And, use this, not that it's the only time that we reach out, but we try to use this as a period of time to really start to express love that you have for people and the love of Christ. Christmas wasn't always Christmas. Indicators show that Christ was actually born in and around the 9th month. He was born in and around September and not December. But what happened was the early church, the Catholic Church, I'm not altogether sure was it when it was under Roman control or was it under Turkish control. However, the Catholic Church, I think it was under Roman control, because we're coming later on in years here. But what happened was the pagans of the world used to celebrate solstice, spring equinox, summer solstice, the winter solstice. And the winter solstice was a festival that was had and celebrated every year in and around the 25th of December. And it was really then hijacked by the church, Christianity, as an awful lot of those things were really, and those holidays were really taken and then blended into the Christian calendar so that people could still carry on with their traditions, but could have some sort of, it could be acceptable to Christianity and to the church leaders at that time. And what we have is we have a series of holidays throughout the year and days throughout the year that are sort of masked and cloaked up and dressed up as being Christian, when they're actually not. Their origin is not Christian. And so I have my own innovations about that. However, it's not going to stop me from putting a bit of cheer about the place. And as I have found, the more and more that Christ is working with me, the more and more I'm becoming less uptight. I'm really sort of I'm starting to relax, and I'm starting to enjoy things around me. I was always very reserved, man, and that purely comes because of my background. And my background that I had, I was a very serious sort of guy, and I was always in a position of authority. Cool, thanks very much, nice beard. It's a bit grey and ginger and all sorts, but yeah, thank you. I grew up myself. It's how'd you get that point on the bottom here? That's caused by my turtleneck, I think. That's being caused by that. Probably pushing up or something. I don't know. But yeah, I used to be quite a serious guy, and extremely serious guy. And the circumstances that I was involved in my life, it was a very military background and militarily structured, and I held rank within a military organisation, although it wasn't a conventional military, as you know. And so I always had to be very, very straight-faced. I was always being watched because I was in leadership, and so I never really let myself go. I became very, very conservative, and where I was very mindful of trying not to stand out too much, so I didn't do things like that. I was very straight and to the point. And I also think and believe that I have quite a bit of Asperger's or something like that, some form of autistic spectrum, which always makes me feel very unapproachable, because sometimes my face tells a different story than what I'm actually thinking, and so I'm quite good at masking my emotion when I'm not allowing people to read what I'm thinking. And again, that was training, because we were trained that if we were ever found ourselves under arrest and things like that, that we were always very mindful that there were psychic profilers and everything watching us. So it was our job then that we had to try to overcome those traits, the natural traits that the body makes, where we were very conscious that we just look forward, look straight, focus on one point, and do not shift or alter. And those things they were good in one sense, and then in another sense they're not so good. So it makes you unapproachable at times. However, so it's good this time of year, because it allows me to really relax and unwind, and allows me to really try to open up to people and to let people see the real me, as opposed to the impression of me that they get. So I'm going to embrace Christmas this year, and I see things breaking down, barriers coming down, and we're going to get into the spirit of Christmas at work and at home, and it's an opportunity to take to really reach out to people and to touch people, and that's what I'm doing. As I say, a lot of barriers are broken down in my life. I was always very self-conscious. I was always very aware of what people around me were thinking or saying, and most of the time I was probably wrong. But I always got to the point where I mean, I wouldn't wear anything that would make me stand out. Even an example, my socks at all times had to be black. I wouldn't wear anything else. I wouldn't have dreamed of being outrageous in any way, shape or form, with expressing myself with my own style, or expressing myself, you know, with items of clothing or anything like that, or using colour. And if it wasn't really the norm, I wouldn't have done it. But thank God Christ has really freed me from all of those wee things. I mean, I wear socks now, and I actually now, and this is a big hurdle for me, because I know that I had everything. It had to be, my socks had to be black. And it sounds crazy we're talking about socks, but it's the mindset in behind it that I'm talking about, that I'm focusing on. Now my socks have to be wacky. They have to be crazy. They have to have colour. I express that. I enjoy that now. Whereas years ago, you looked at my sock drawer, black, 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 and every sock actually was paired. There was left sock and there was a right sock. Oh, crazy stuff. But you know, thank God I'm freed from that. And I always now sort of try to express myself. Even just the nosy things are just that playful little sort of relaxed side of me now that I never really ever got to express when I was in my past, when I was trapped in all of those areas of my life. And these are things that happen. And another thing that we're doing this week in work, we're going to wear the Christmas jumper. I've never wore a Christmas jumper in my life, and there is no way that you would have ever gotten me to wear a Christmas jumper. However, this year I'm going to do it, and I think what is happening is that all these things are being broken down in me, and I'm embracing them. I'm embracing them now, and I'm actually enjoying it, and enjoying seeing and enjoying the lighter side of life. Because Christ was also like that. He didn't walk around in Christmas jumpers or have crazy socks on him, but he was playful. He had a great sense of humour. He laughed. He had fun with his apostles, people around him. He was approachable. He was kind. He had a brilliant way with children. He was, all those things were things of Christ. They were traits of Christ. And I find more and more and more of those things and those traits now actually come through. Characteristics. It's not so much fruits. I'm not talking about the fruits of the Spirit. Because I'm seeing those and I'm working in those. But I'm on about just characteristics and traits of Christ that he had. And I'm seeing those coming through, and I'm really enjoying them, being honest with you. And it doesn't make me as much of a square with everybody as it does, or as it used to. People used to feel uncomfortable around me because they were afraid of putting a foot wrong, or now the guys can mess about with me, and we actually enjoy it and have a great crack. So all those things, I'm using Christmas as an opportunity, but I am very mindful of how painful it can be. I have a brother who's just recently divorced, and he made decisions in life or whatever that probably contributed to it, or did contribute to it. But he's feeling it, and he certainly didn't want the divorce. He certainly doesn't want it. And I think he's living a life of regret now, trying to make up for time, but you can't make up for time. And I feel sorry for him to the point where, because we all have to go through things in life, even if you don't follow Christ or you don't accept him. You have to go through things in life. And I know how much he is not looking forward to Christmas. I really do feel for him, and I know there are so many others through bereavement, through marriage breakups, relationship breakups. So many people going to be so sad and disheartened this year that we need to really try and make time and try and be light with people. Try and make their Christmas a bit easier for them, actually. So we need to be mindful of that. We need to be mindful of people around us. It can be a happy time of the year, but it can also be a very lonely, bitter time, a very harsh time for a lot of people. We also have to remember those who are less fortunate than ourselves as well. We're having a tight Christmas. We've invested everything in a business that is struggling. At this point in time, we've just moved home. I have a lot of debts. We're finding it really tight ourselves as a family. So this Christmas now, our kids have gotten what they want. We have done well by them, and we've got what they wanted. They've got their big stuff that they wanted. But it's not going to be as extravagant or as flamboyant as any other year. But I'm hoping it'll be a little bit more intimate, a little more closer for us anyhow. But that's the story in our household. It is going to be not a meager Christmas, but it's going to be not as flamboyant as other years. And there are people less fortunate than us who don't even have the money to buy food for Christmas Day, let alone, and I'm not on about in foreign countries, I'm not on about Band-Aid, going to Africa and whatever. I'm on about in your own neighbourhood, in your own vicinity. And we need to try and reach out to people or help people. There are children who are going to wake up in your own neighbourhood, in your own community this Christmas with no gifts, no presents. People going to wake up with no heating, with no with no food. So we need to be mindful. I don't know how we sort that. I don't know how we address that. Or could it ever be addressed? Because then, and also you go into these areas and you try and sort things out, and you could end up also, there are people there who are always trying to scam as well. So I don't know how you would do that or what connections you would do or have, but it certainly would be a good idea, and I'm thinking this myself, to maybe try to get involved in something with people. Certainly to be very mindful of that, and in turn to be extremely thankful that you don't have those issues. if you're sitting down Christmas Day to a big roast turkey dinner or whatever it is you're having, then think about those and be thankful, because you're not one of those who don't have anything. So it can be a very, very bitter, very cold, very harsh time of the year for an awful lot of people. Not everybody has the resources or the money to go and do what they can. I know certainly myself that this last while back has been an immense struggle for me to try and make rent and work and try and make wages and work and try and do all of those things. I know how difficult it is. It's not easy. But the main thing is that if you are getting in and you're going to be involved in Christmas, be around people this Christmas, and the main thing is to be approachable. Approach people and deal with people this Christmas in love. If you're usually a Grinch, if you're usually a grumpy old git, in this Christmas, make an effort and a commitment to smile. I did. I used to be a grumpy git. Make an effort to smile. To try and not rub off on those around you who are actually enjoying the festivities. And I guarantee it will be noticed. People will notice how how much you've lightened up. Just lighten up. Allow the love of Christ to brighten you up a bit. That's what you need to do. That's what you want to do. Relax. Have fun. Lighten up. Enjoy life. Enjoy life. Have no regrets. If you have family, you have parents, you have family that you haven't seen, and you have grudges, or you have stuff that you haven't dealt with or whatever, try and let it go. A phone call. Give that person a ring. Tell them. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to be false with them. You don't have to be bosom buddies again. You don't have to be in each other's pockets. You don't have to be anything. But a phone call to someone that you have a grudge with, or someone there's ill feeling with, or whatever, a simple phone call or a card just to say, listen, I'm good. I'm okay. I hope you have a nice Christmas. If you've parents, go and see them. You never know when it will be your last Christmas with them. You never know when it will be your last Christmas with them. If you have children or whatever, be with them. I have learned in life, don't get me wrong, we all have stresses, and I'm rearing 4 children. And we have a child. Our routine now on Christmas Eve, and at all these holidays, we get up Christmas Eve, we'll have breakfast, and then myself, my wife and my children will make the journey to the cemetery to clean up, to tidy up the grave of our youngest son, Owen. And their brother, and we leave some flowers and maybe a wee teddy bear or something like that just on his grave. And we know he's not there. I don't believe that. We know that. I'm not saying that I think that we go to the grave to remember him, and we'll have it nice. I'd much rather that he was at the table today, getting himself covered covered in gravy and seeing his little face and all that sort of stuff. But that's our day. So our Christmas has already been sort of marred as well. And so we'll go and we'll tidy up his wee grave, and we'll make it look nice anyway. And we thank God for the gift of being able to do so. So that's one thing that I realised and I learned, and I learned it really after I had my heart attack. I learned the lesson that I had if you want to live on in your children, if you want to be a part of your children's lives for the rest of their lives, there's only one way for you to do that, and it's not by working. We need to work. It's not by leaving them homes or leaving them houses or leaving them businesses. There's only one way to do that, guys, and that is to make memories with them. If you don't make memories with your children, or you're too busy to be around your children, or you are too preoccupied with your friends or your social life to be around your children, then or you're too busy fighting with your wife or your husband to be around and enjoy your children. I'm telling you now, when you die, your children, you will not live on in your children, because there'll be so much resentment, and you will live on, but it will be for all the wrong reasons. You will be the drive for your children not to make the mistakes with their kids that you did with them. So what you need to do is now, starting now, don't even wait another second. You start now. And you start to make memories with your children. Start to listen to them, read to them, go out with them, even once. Do it once a week, do it whatever. I'm not saying you have to do it all the time, because kids need to be kids too. But make that effort and be around them. And make memories. If you make memories now, good memories, you will live on in the lives of your children for as long as they're there. They will carry you in their hearts wherever they go. You will leave a part of you with them. So don't waste your now. Let this Christmas be the time you say, I'm going to change. I'm going to start spending time with my family. I'm going to start spending time with my children. I'm going to start to make a change. Let that be this year. Let it be today. Start to build a bridge. Build the bridges on the people that matter most to you. Show them. There's no point. You can't show them when you're gone. So show them. Show them how much you love them. And make memories. And enjoy Christmas. We all know that Christmas is not scriptural, it's not whatever, but it's a time to let Christ shine. It's a time to let Christ shine in you and allow you to touch other people with that love and with that joy and with that message of Christ. So maybe something to think about, I don't know. But I know what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to enjoy my Christmas this year. And I'm going to be mindful of the others who don't have a good Christmas and who are having difficulty at Christmas. And I'm going to be mindful of those around me that are suffering grief at Christmas. And I'm going to enjoy mine. And I hope you enjoy yours. So Father, bless everyone who watches this video. May it be today, may it be tomorrow, wherever. Bless them, Father. Let the love of Christ touch their hearts and let them begin to see the change and the glorious change that you bring about in their lives, and in turn the lives of everyone else around them, as you change them from the inside out. I pray this in the precious name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Guys, have a great day. Enjoy what you're going to do, and I'll see you again, hopefully, God willing, tomorrow.